Why is this so hard? Do we have a divided community? Phoenix Force just came to the game and we got people saying it's good. We got people saying it's not so good. We're gonna do a little talking piece, different video on this, explore some numbers. I wanna hear what your thoughts are in the comments below. Where do you stand on this issue? We've gotta talk about personal experience first. I did get to my quickest infinite ever.
Cool story, Hansel.
I haven't grinded a lot since then, but it was just a couple days. Pretty happy with that. I've got a video coming out where I'm gonna cover this deck here. Shout out to Captain Kerr on that one. I use that about half the time. I might end up landing on this one as my favorite. I might adjust a couple things. Lots of Killmongers out there. Sometimes I don't love that with the Human Torch, but it does get massive and it's really good with the Taskmaster. So on the fence there. But the one that I started using and sort of landed on for myself was this one. I still might end up changing the cloak for the Doctor Strange, but between those two decks, I got my fastest infinite run ever. So from a personal experience, I'm going, how can you say this card's not good? Like I typically don't get infinite that quick. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I've improved as a player. I know that I have a little bit, but I don't think so much where I'd be getting infinite that quickly. It could be timing where it's just people aren't used to Phoenix Force yet. I don't know. But I mean, the multiple man, they get huge and they get moved all over the board and I absolutely love it. This did happen one other time where I felt pretty good about getting infinite after a card dropped. And I have to say that I'm not necessarily proud to say that I loved that card, but I'll stick by it. I definitely thought that this card was going to be better than it currently is, and I actually think at this point it needs a buff. It's just not a good card. So this was the last time that I remember being on such a different end of the spectrum of people saying a card was good and bad. So I could easily see where, you know what, I'm going to be wrong about this again. So with Kang, I feel like he didn't necessarily bring much to the deck. He get you to see something that somebody could change. Personally, I think he needs an adjustment. I think that they should do something where he doesn't get drawn until 5 or later on him. I mean, he's the master of time, so he should be able to control when he gets in your hand, and then he's like a potential deck thinning. But does that make him too OP? I don't know, but he's a big bad. But this video is not about that. So I just wanted to preface this by saying, yes, I've been wrong about this before. I'm going to be wrong about a million other things in my entire life. It is life. Nobody's perfect. Everybody gets things wrong. But I want to talk about this Phoenix Force situation and see where everyone's at. Because like I said, I am absolutely feeling good about between that deck and this deck being good. Now, there's another deck out there that Zola plays in and it can maybe move some rounds. I haven't played with that yet. There's also talk about, well, yeah, but you're talking about the ladder. What about Conquest? When you come to Conquest, and I haven't played a lot. I think I've only got, all right, yeah, I've only got 2 gold tickets. I've probably lost a little bit with it on Conquest as well. I've not gathered enough experience on Conquest to feel whether I think it's good or not here. I do think it's got a lot of options though. This one, you can move things around quite a bit. You don't just need to lean into Phoenix Force. You can get into a couple additional move cards. And the reason that I like that Captain Kerr deck quite a bit is because I feel like it's got a multitude of options between the Shuri Nimrod play and the Human Torch, multiple man Phoenix Force play. I've actually even Phoenix Forced Shuri, where I got the double up on the Phoenix Force, and then I got a double up on a Heimdall the next turn. I had a 14-point Phoenix Force that I potentially moved, and then I had a 16-point Heimdall late that I moved things around. So even that didn't feel that bad. You still got the Shuri into just Nimrod, where and then on the final turn, you Venom that spot, and then Carnage the other lane that you want to throw, and you've got a potential 24-point lane plus, depending if you play anything else there, and then the Venom lane. Also a great play. So you've got a couple different avenues where all of these cards sort of tie together. It's not like some decks where it's like, well, I either have to do this, or maybe that. Now this one, you do have these different paths you can take, but they're also interwoven. And that's the reason that I like this deck a little bit more, because you get that interwoven mentality on it. But like I said, a lot of the community is saying this card is not very good. They don't like it. They think it's the worst season card. I know some content creators out there, I think, have also said that. I need to go watch some videos to see exactly who's saying what. I've been behind on all of the community stuff outside of just seeing people talk on Twitter and Discords. I need to watch some videos. Let me know what everyone else as far as content creators think in the comments below. So let's go to untapped.gg to start. We like to go here for just general numbers. Right now, I've got latest patch, pool 3+, 30 to 100, and just straight up game count. So that way we can see exactly where a bunch of games are, what the cube rates are, and what the total win rate is. So the first decks we got on here looks like a general Phoenix. This one's got your Taskmaster in it with your Hulkbuster and basically just a bunch of move cards and the 2 destroy cards. An okay average cube at 0.66. The win rate, 55%. That's not bad. 19,000 games is pretty solid in that amount. We've got another one. This one I played something similar. It was like the zombie glazer deck. I did not have Zola in my version or She-Hulk. Similar amount of win rate and cubes. Destroy here. This one's got a better win rate and average cubes here. This one's got null in it as well. So this really leans into the destroy aspect of it. One thing that I heard, and I think Molt was the first person I heard say this, was Phoenix forcing the Bucky Barnes and then potentially destroying the Phoenix Force again could be something interesting. Almost 5,000 games there. Let's sort this by, you know, these are all solid cubes and win rates right now. Like everything I'm seeing right now, and I'm not going to go through each one of these, but they're all decent based on the more games they play. Like you start dropping off a little bit here. Maybe that's why not a lot of people play that one. I don't know, but let's sort this by in the same range. Let's sort this by pure average cubes. All right, so we've got a cube rate of 1 on this one. This is a really weird deck, though. Like, I'm looking at this and going, what am I destroying here? And why is Phoenix Force in this deck? You've got Zola late. This just seems like a random weird deck. Someone tell me about this one. It's an electro ramp with Phoenix, but I'm not sure why you're doing that. This destroy one. This one does have the Nimrod in it, which, again, I really like. This one has a pretty solid win rate, a good average cube. Not a lot of games at all, though. So the destroy one has the most games in it with a decent win rate and an average cube. A lot of these other ones do not have a lot of games. So let's just look at win rate. All right, so we saw some of these decks in the average cubes as well. This win rate one, we didn't look at this necessarily, but it's the same destroy deck, or maybe we did cover that one. You know, a lot of heavy destroy decks as far as untapped.gg, but I wouldn't say any of the, like these are not bad numbers as far as I would think to see. Now let's move up. Let's do two things. One, let's lower this off of 100 and let's bring this up all the way to 70. Let's go back to game count. 12,000 games. Cube rate here is not very good. 0.4. I don't really love that. Win rate's okay. Same thing here. A lot of games. Not a good cube rate. Not a good, a fine win rate. 50% to me is like, okay, it's fine. Here's a decent one with a 58% win rate and a 0.6 cubes. 2,600 games. The other one right next to it here, just rather a Phoenix, again, with Nimrod, which, again, I like a lot. That's another solid. Let's go and see. I'm getting anxious here and wanting to see average cubes. All right, so we got a 0.8 average cube here with a 56% win rate. Very similar to the deck I play a little bit with some Ghost Spider in here as well. Taskmaster in this one. An electro ramp again. I mean, maybe I'm just missing the bag on this. This one's got Gamora in it as well. I mean, I suppose if you're playing some things a little bit early and maybe you're Zolaing something and then Phoenix forcing it, but then you're not really moving it. I don't know. It's not the playstyle I've been doing. This destroy one, again, solid average cubes, decent win rate, 59.2%. Again, it's got Nimrod in it, bunch of destroy cards. These are really showing that you don't just have to use move here. You can use multiple types. And Phoenix Force can just give you the flexibility to change lanes without move, which is, again, something that I think makes the card more valuable. Again, all pretty good cube rates here, 0.7, 0.7, so, and decent win rates. So let's just go straight to win rate. We've got a move at 59%, almost 60 to 0.5. Not bad. This one's pretty good. Again, it's that destroy, 59 and 0.75. The Phoenix at 58.7, 58.6. Electro ramp again, Phoenix 57 and then a 0.7. Let's adjust the range again to let's just get in the 90s. Let's just go pure 90s. I'm just staying with average cubes and win rate now. We're not going to keep doing game totals because they're just going to be so small. So this is not great so far. So the average cubes 0.5, 0.5, 0.3, 0.3, 0.2. You know what I want to see while I'm looking at this? Let's take Phoenix Force out of this and stay in the same range. Okay, so now in the same range, you've got Evo Control at 0.9, Bounce at 0.9, Bounce, 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 Bounce. We always be bouncing, just general snap decks. Bounce Control, Lockjaw, Bounce, Bounce, High Evo, which is everything that everyone's talking about. Snap deck, Sarah Control, Lockjaw, Sarah Control. I'm flying through this snap deck negative. I've seen a lot more of those. Evo Control. I mean, Phoenix doesn't show up until much, much later in this. So within this realm of this 90 to 99 right now, with these amount of games, it's got a 0.5 average cube. Now, if you're trying to defend Phoenix, what you would say is, well, it's because people aren't used to playing it yet and they haven't figured it out. Now, whether that's true or not, yeah, I'll let you decide, as well as Father Time will decide whether that's the case or not. Let's look at win rate here as well. All right, so we got Bounce, High Evo, Lockjaw, High Evo, Bounce, Regular Snap, Shuri, Evo Control, Snap, Lockjaw, Lockjaw, Snap, Evo, Lockjaw, Bounce, Stature, Shuri, High Evo, Bounce, High Evo. Where are you? By Phoenix, I do not see you. Man, bounces literally everywhere. Everywhere the bounce, the bounce, the bounce, the bounce. You got a Darkhawk in here. Destroyer. Bounces for days. I haven't seen Phoenix yet. Man, you got a Hella. Looking at this makes it so it's like, what am I saying? Am I in a Kang situation here again? For sure. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. Galactus, I mean, yeah, we still haven't hit this unless we just straight up missed it, but I've not seen a Phoenix on here. So I filtered it straight up just for Phoenix, and so the first one is at 54%, which isn't bad, but the average cubes is pretty bad. It's a Thanos death deck. And then the other one on there is 50% at 0.2 cubes, which is really bad. When you're looking at pure win rate, not a lot of high ones here. Within the 90s. You really want average cubes in the 90, but still at 0.5, not 0.58 is the highest, 1.54, and then drops off pretty significantly. And then when you're looking at other ones, those are up at 0.9s, 0.8s, 0.7s. But again, like I said, that could be because people are just used to those decks. At least that's the argument you'd make if you're pro Phoenix. I always like to look at post Infinite just because even though I don't think it's, oh goodness gracious, not a lot in a low cube. It's not been very long and probably not a lot of people up there, or they're playing around with it, messing around. So that's why I don't really look at this range very much. So what do you think? Where do you fall in this divided discussion? Do you think that it's a fluke that I necessarily got to Infinite, that others are getting to Infinite so quickly with Phoenix? It seems like I was I was watching Alex's stream last night. It seems like a very good guy, obviously one of the bigger content creators. And he specifically said, and as a content creator, this is important. We have to make content for people that they want to watch. And that's something that we do as content creators. What do you want? Not is it just about like what you might need and might help you, but what do you want to watch? And he made a comment, and I think he might be right on this, is it doesn't seem like a lot of people want to watch Phoenix decks because they don't think it's good. My first Phoenix video did pretty good. My second one doesn't even have half as many views. Now, I don't get a lot of views as a content creator, and I've got a video that I'm putting on Sunday, which is a third one, the one that I used that I got from Captain Kerr, and I'm scared to see what the results are, but I already shot it, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be gone, so I can't really shoot anything different because I'm going to a family wedding. So fingers crossed, but I mean, that might really tell, like, is this just the community saying they don't care for Phoenix? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below one way or another. Appreciate you making this far. If you want to discuss further on the Discord, link in the description below. If this video was entertaining or fun or helpful in any way, please consider hammering down that like button. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.